Hey everybody, Monster Art School is on and running. Here, just put it up here, baby doll. Up there, good.
You don't have a piece of paper.
I don't have a piece of paper. I'll get my own piece of paper. There we go, perfecto. Oh, that's a little beaten up. I don't care. I'll draw on beaten up paper. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing fine out there. Me and, oh, you need a piece of paper too? Just grab one of those.
No, I didn't have a piece of paper.
Oh, you do? Okay. So today on Monster Art School, we are going to draw an ent. And it looks like my paper got stepped on. But I'm going to have to deal with it because I don't have a lot of extra paper running around. What? I don't have a ton of extra paper lying around, so... Okay, I can replace it. I'll replace it with a less dirty piece of paper. That has a mark on it, too. What is all this? My studio is too much of a mess. People ask me why I don't do studio tours. It's because my studio is a disaster most days. Right, Luna?
Yep.
Okay, here, take a pencil. Unless you want to use that technical...
it.
Oh, you want to use the technical pencil? Then you grabbed it and dropped it on the floor. Thank you, Luna. That's very helpful. And then you didn't even bother trying to pick it up. Oh, the joys of childhood. Okay, so today we're going to draw an ent. I was thinking about doing Sauron or an ent, but I think the ent ended up winning because I think Luna is more interested in an ent, right?
Yeah. I needed a ting.
You need our ting? Well, the ting isn't in there. Here, just use the ting on the back of this. There are no tings in there. Here, just use that ting. Okay?
I'm just going to take the ting off here.
Okay.
Put it here.
All right, that won't really work, but okay.
I don't care. Okay.
Alrighty, guys. So, here we go. Yay! Okay. Penelope is here saying yay. All right, so I think one of the things... Now, are you going to draw with us or not? Luna?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't want to do it, but I will draw.
Okay, she'll draw. You can draw and interrupt. So, one of the things we'll do with the ent that makes it different than doing people is I don't think their heads are round. I don't know if they have round heads. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I think instead of a round head, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a cylinder. Okay? And we'll do like a basic cylinder shape like that. And then from there, what are you dropping everything on the floor for? We're going to...
I don't need to.
We're going to draw down.
I'm the dropper girl. But not like a Minecraft dropper girl, but...
What's a Minecraft dropper girl? And around like this. So we're going to have it go like that.
Dropper?
That's okay. We don't need to know. And then we're going to go back down like this. Okay? I don't think we're going to fit a whole ent on the paper because ents are so big. So we're just going to draw like the top part of him. Okay? And so I'm going to have his head tilt. Let's tilt his head like this. All right? And then we'll tilt his shoulders like this. And we'll draw another kind of a tube going down like this for his upper body and his torso. So 2 long tubes. Like I said, I want this to kind of have a tree feel. So I don't want it to have people feel, like not circles. We're going to draw cylinders. So then over here, he's got to have shoulders. So I have shoulders here and here, right? But I think his arms should be extra long. So even though here he'd have hips, and we'll go down like this for the hips, I think his arms will be really long. So I'm going to draw it down and then come up like this. And then we'll put a kind of a cone here. And we'll bring this arm down. And we'll get the elbow, make sure they're both the same length, like that. And we'll bring the other hand down to here. So it goes almost off the page down there, okay?
This word is very, very, very wild.
Or her. Oh, yeah, that's true. It doesn't have to be a guy ent. It could be a girl ent. Although we don't know what the female ents look like. Remember in the story, he talks about the female ents, but we haven't seen the female ents in a very long time. No one's seen the female ents. The ent wives, as they called them. So, now, one of the things about trees that is really neat is that trees have, I'm going to draw up here, we're going to draw, trees have bark, and the bark tends to kind of make overlapping shapes. Depends on the bark of the tree too. Like sometimes you get these overlapping shapes of bark like this. Other times you get bark that is just lines like this, and it makes little shapes like that. So I think I'm going to try and use this shape here as how we're going to design his face and everything. So first off, I'm going to say at the top of his head, let's say there's branches coming out. So we'll go, and remember all of these branches are tubes, right? And then when they split, what's really fun about trees is you make a bump, and then you add the tube for the branch. Then you make another bump, and you add 2 branches like that. So there's always like a bump where a new growth will come out. So I'm going to end this tree like that branch like that, just because I want it to kind of look like it's a little broken. And maybe cut his hair, so he cut it short.
Hey, Penelope, you might want to ask your favorite question right now.
I don't know about that. We'll have tubes coming like this. I don't know if we're going to be able to ink because I don't know how far we are on the drawing, how far we're going to get on the drawing today. So we'll have to see. So a tube like that.
Penelope's like, the ting!
And then we're going to make Y's.
Oh, Tiana Shaw said ants are cool. They're like tree peeps.
They are tree peeps. They're kind of like, what's his name?
Except not the
Groot is kind of like an ant, right?
Yeah. He's basically like an ant. He is...
In fact, he pretty much is an ant, isn't he? He's a tree person, and he heals people.
Yeah. Ooh,
And the ants, they don't heal people, but they heal trees. What?
Guess what, Dad?
What?
Penelope said...
Can we ink today?
In all caps.
I don't know. I think I'm going to draw and see where we end up.
I don't know, Penelope.
I already said that.
That's one thing I can say.
So, basically, when we want a branch to look like it's coming forward, we're going to draw a circle like that. If we want the branch to look like it's moving away, we're just going to, not a circle, we'll draw why can't I remember the name of that word? An ellipse like that. If we want them to look like they're going away, we don't draw an ellipse, we just draw the outer edge of the curve. So if I want one here that's going to be moving away from us, just draw the outer edge. Okay, we'll have this come up like this. And we'll break that branch there. So really, we just want to have a bunch of branches kind of coming out of the top of his head. And I don't like the fact that these two are too similar. They're both pointing in the same direction. So I think this one I'll break it off here. And really just breaking it off by making a triangle. Looks like someone maybe cut the tree like that. So I break the what's that called? The ellipse open, and I cut it with a triangle like that. Now, let's see, how do we draw a face on this guy or this girl? So the first, although it is Treebeard, so I think it's a guy. Anyway, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an eye here, or not an eye, an eye hole there, an eye hole there. Eye sockets. Now, I don't know why they would have sockets, because I don't know if they have skulls, but I'm going to say they do. So then I think these guys are supposed to look really old. And one of the weird things about getting old is that the two things that grow on your body for your entire life are the end of your nose and your ears. So I think that's why all these old characters like Gandalf and everything have such giant noses, because they're so old, their noses grow. So I'm going to give him a nice pointy...
Why would somebody want their nose to grow like that?
Well, you don't. It's just what happens in life.
Are the branches his or her hair?
Are you asking me that?
No.
I think so, yeah. I think the branches can be their hair. And you can draw like more coming out like this to make it look like there's more hair. That's how I would treat it. And then you could draw some out here because it is Treebeard. And so I'm assuming he's going to have a beard. So now in here, I'm going to draw the circles for the eyes. And then I think I'm going to make his eyes very behind
Yay.
and small.
Okay, guys.
So we'll draw the eyes like that.
Guess what's going to happen?
Whoa, you're going to yell in my ear. That was what's going to happen. What are you doing now, hon? You know what? Let's not do that.
I don't know what's going to
I'm
happen.
going to erase that because I don't like this.
Life is going to happen.
Life is going to happen. So actually, let's get back to those eyes like this. We'll get back to the eyes in a little bit. So here we're going to come around like so. And we're going to start putting his eyebrows. And I want his eyebrows to feel like they're pieces of rough bark. So we'll draw these kind of abstract, kind of triangular, boxy shapes coming out like this.
Okay, good.
Okay? And then,
What should be the theme for next week?
we already decided it was going to be dragons next week.
All right. Are we going to do, like, any type of dragons? Are we going to do, dragons?
In
Yeah.
space! No. Let me get rid of some of these tube lines up here just so that they look more like trees and less like tubes. And then I'm going to draw a mustache
Sorry.
from here. And the mustache is going to basically come from the bottom of the nose down. And that's also going to be, you can make it vines. And the way to do that is to kind of just pretend like you're drawing interlocking pieces of wood. And kind of just put more branches down at the bottom. Like, almost like cords. You can do the same over here. Just basically draw out and around like this. That's a lovely sniffle you've got there, my dear.
Okay, Penelope asked, why don't we do classes on the weekend?
Because I have to have 2 days off because I have to get my real work done sometime. So I work on my real work on the weekends.
And we also, now, we're probably going to think of
I need a break
themes.
because this takes time. Okay, so now we're going to draw under here to do cheekbones. You're going to do a wheel of themes. That's a good idea. And then we'll come in like that, and we'll bring it around here. So we'll see from the eyebrow, around the eye socket, and down into the cheekbone. And if you want to make this look more tree-like, just draw some tree lines, some bark lines in there. And now I'm going to throw an eyeball and an eyelid. So the eyelid can just be kind of a half circle over top of the ball that we drew. And we'll draw like that. And then I think in here we can go under and around 2 or 3 times. Because Treebeard's supposed to be really old, so we'll give him lots of wrinkles. And you can let those wrinkles become the bark on his cheeks too. Kind of bring it down like that.
Oops, sorry.
And then in here, I'm going to make this dark. Right in where the nose meets the area under the eyes. Because we want him to look smart yet friendly and kindly and old. So now from here we can draw more lines out here for the beard. And if you want to, you can draw the tree branches like this.
I'm going to get a piece of bread.
Like that, and make them sharp.
You know
And then
what?
add another bump like that, and then you can do this.
Dad?
Okay? What? Why are you going to get a piece of bread? So you can interrupt me again? No, why are you getting a piece of bread?
In the olden days, they used to use bread as erasers.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, they used to use bread as erasers. That seems like a very crumbly way of working.
I know.
Seems like you would just have a mess. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of do what we did yesterday with Gandalf. So we're going to draw out from here.
Did you hit? Okay, it paused.
No, it's still going.
It's still going.
And then we're going to draw down from here. And then
No, I think you paused it.
in here like this. So we'll give him a nice long beard, and we'll bring it all the way down like this.
There's no need to get
Okay.
There's no need to get riled up.
Riled up? What do you mean? Did she say it stopped?
She said it paused.
People are still working. I don't know. Now I'm going to erase this. What?
There's the emoji. She did an emoji that looks like this.
Okay. So we'll get rid of some of these extra lines in here. Yeah, I know the emoji. I saw you.
And it's in all caps.
Okay. So now, what are we going to do with this big beard?
I can't imagine.
It's hard to draw every single branch. So what I'm going to do, instead of drawing every single branch, because that'll take forever, we're going to draw, just like we didn't draw every single hair on Gandalf yesterday, we're going to draw a few branches, and then we can draw the spaces between the branches. So we draw a branch, and just really draw the branches at the ends of his beard. So we'll make the bottom of his beard kind of like pieces of branch sticking up. And I'll do the same over here. Bring this around.
I just realized I was sitting on a cold surface.
What surface?
A cold surface.
You're sitting on a metal stool. That's why.
Ah,
And we'll go down here.
my blanket fell off.
And basically just draw kind of tubes coming out of the bottom of the beard shape we drew.
Penelope.
And if you want, you can lay them over top of each other like this.
You don't have to be overprotective. People make mistakes.
What happened?
She said, I did not.
To you?
Yeah, and
Well, I don't know what happened. Facebook is not a perfect thing.
nothing is.
So we'll draw a few lines coming down, like jagged lines coming down under his where his mouth should be, kind of where his beard meets his mouth, and we'll draw a few lines here, kind of making the beard areas, kind of like we did over here. Now, I think he needs the back of his head. Maybe there's a little bit of we can put a branch out here like that to kind of make it feel like there's a back to his head. And you can end his head in like a crown of trees branches, like that. Now, how are we going to do the arms? So what I'm going to say is his arms are big trees. So we're going to draw from like under the beard here. I'm going to draw out. We're not really going to see his shoulder. And I'm going to draw out here, and we're going to make a cylinder. Okay, and that'll be one tree. And if you want to make it feel more tree-like, we're going to go and put some lines on it for bark. And then at this point here, we'll throw, I don't know, we'll throw a kind of a jagged area here as if it's a tree. And if you ever pulled a tree branch apart when it's still green, it doesn't want to pull apart, right? So it kind of makes these threads that stick out and then it bends. So that's what I'm going to do for his joints. So it's going to look like basically triangles and little square shapes, and then we'll have these cords in here.
Stiff and old.
Yeah, but he still moves. But he doesn't snap, right? When he moves. So since he doesn't snap, he's got to have something in there that's green.
Guess what?
So
I'm not drawing along. I'm just doing stuff.
She's just drawing stuff. She's drawing dragons. So now we're gonna do another
specific type of dragons.
Line along here.
Probably copyrighted if I say it.
You can say it.
I'm drawing a rain wing from Wings of Fire.
And then
Well,
here,
3 wings.
I'm going to draw the bark ending. So you're drawing rain wings from Wings of Fire.
But my types of rain wing. My OCs.
And then down here, we'll make some of the bark kind of hang out over like it's extra pieces of bark. And then we have to have his hand. And I'll say his hand. This guy is tough, huh? His hand, we'll keep that basic shape we created. Remember how we always draw a box, right? So here's that box shape. But we're going to say that it's made up of different line shapes like this. We can draw in and around like that. And then we'll get the knuckles. And the knuckles, I kind of want the knuckles to look like a knot on a tree. So they'll look like this. Okay? So we'll put a knuckle here, and a knuckle here, and a knuckle there, and a knuckle there. And then we'll extend the fingers. And notice I'm drawing the fingers in like this, okay? I'm making them skinnier, kind of like I'm drawing a chicken bone. Skinnier in the middle, and then wider at the ends. And then we'll draw another knuckle, another knuckle, another knuckle, another knuckle, and then I'll do this again. I'll go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll draw another knuckle, another knuckle, another knuckle, another knuckle, and then we'll draw the end of the pinky, and then the end of the ring finger there, and then the end of the middle finger there, and the end of the first finger there. And if we want to draw a thumb, we can start, because we're looking at the back of his hand, so his thumb's kind of hidden. So we'll show his hand like this. So what I'll do is I'll draw kind of a big curved arc out like this as a triangle, and then I'll put a knuckle there, and then I'll draw out like that and make it feel like a branch. Okay? So now, let's get back to that beard, finishing off this beard. I got bored of it before, so I wanted to finish it still. So sometimes I jump around my pieces so I can get something new done while I wait for something else to finish. So I'm going to finish the beard off like this. I'm distractible too, kids. And maybe you have some extra branches out here like this.
You're not the only one.
No, I'm not the only one.
Oh, guess what Penelope asked?
What? Can we ink? I don't know.
She already asked that.
Can we draw a pickle?
How are you so good?
How am I so good? Years and years of practice. So just keep going. Don't give up. Keep going. So now here.
Going. Do not
Yep.
give up.
If you give up,
Well,
what's going to happen is you're not going to get there. So you got to keep going if you're really interested in it. Now, we've got the arm, the elbow, the hand, right? So then we need the middle of his body. So actually, I think what I'm going to do for the middle of his body is I'm going to draw this way, which goes against what I drew before, but I think I want that arc going this way. And then we'll have his body come out like this.
we actually might have time to eat today.
I don't know. I'm not very far. So his body in here. Okay. And what I'm going to do first is, see this? I'm going to basically recreate the shape of the beard and then fill it in with shadow. And the reason is basically I want to create a shape that looks like the beard hangs out over his arm and his body. Okay? So just basically recreate that shadow. And I'll do the same down here. So like here, and then under that, under this tree, this twig, and under this twig, and that twig. And we'll get that in. That way, it looks like it's kind of shadowy. And for that matter, we can always go and do some stuff up here that feels shadowy. Give him some lines in there. Now, his back, or the side, I guess, what we're going to do is we're just going to draw some tree bark coming down like this. Like so. And I don't know, do ants wear clothes? I don't know about that. I'm not sure. But we could have a few leaves on him here and here. Just throw a couple of leaves on the end. And the leaf shape I'm using is kind of a diamond shape like that, but it's softer. So now I've got that. Let's throw a little bit more here. Now, sometimes like when you want to do a drawing and you want something to be in the background, but you don't want to see it fully, you just want to know it's there. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll draw little things like this and I'll just make them dark. And that way they look like they're pieces of the drawing they're in behind, but they're there to kind of give the feeling that this goes deeper into the drawing. So I can do some dark ones, some dark, extra dark branches coming out up here that look like they're just behind the rest of the tree, as opposed to stuff that's on the top of the tree, on the front of the tree. Okay. Whoa! All right, I need to sharpen her. Or I'll switch pencils. Look at that. So now, ooh, I need my eraser too. Where'd my ting go? I lost my ting. So now down here, I'm gonna get rid of this. That is a lovely snot ball you're creating, Luna. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
So now, Ed Cardo said nice stuff.
Ed Cato?
S-E-S. I can't see it.
Ed Cato. I'm going to draw
Ed
down
Cato.
from here.
Sorry, Ed Cato.
And we're going to bring this down like this.
I'm just going to call you Ed.
Okay, so now we have the tree body here. And
Penelope.
can I finish what I'm doing here for a sec before you talk to Penelope? Because, go ahead, talk to Penelope. I'm sorry.
I have a word of advice for you. You could totally kick your dad's butt.
So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to draw around the bottom of the branches to make them feel like they're coming out around. So you just try to imagine the branches as three-dimensional objects. So you just follow them this way. And in a way, the bark is like, what do you call it? Stripes, uneven stripes on the branches. Okay. Now, I'm going to give him a nice deep set shadow under here, so he feels kind of like old and sallow. And then let's see, what can we do to make this the body? I'm still trying to figure out the lower body, so maybe what we'll do is, because I don't know what he looks like down here, I'm not really sure, so maybe what we do is we throw a tree, the top of a tree here, blocking the lower part of his body. Because I don't know if his legs and all that stuff is so important anyway. It's really his head that's the really cool part. So his head and his hands. So we'll throw a tree. And the way we're going to do that is, let me go back and start this from the beginning so you can see how I think about trees, is tree branches come out from the center of the tree like this. Okay? And then the leaves tend to go out like that. So if I imagine this tree is starting all the way down here, I'm going to pull the branches out like this, and then I'm going to draw leaves coming out. And I can just make like curved triangular shapes as long as I am conscious of where I'm putting them in relationship to each other and in relationship to the fake branches. So if I draw a branch there, where I imagine a branch there and I imagine a branch here, but basically the leaves will hang out. Now the leaves are all going to hang out and they're always trying to be flat because they're trying to catch light from the sun. So they're trying to angle themselves towards the sun. So you're not going to get a lot of leaves that do things like this because they're going to kind of stay out like that. So if you look at leaves on tops of a tree, they don't stick straight up. They kind of hang off to the side because they're still trying to catch light. If they were sticking straight up, they couldn't catch light from the sun. So they kind of do this. And then you get another one back here, and they're all... And I'll draw some more over here. And any one individual leaf, you could say, is like that. But if I drew all the individual leaves, it would take me hours to draw this whole drawing. So what I do is I draw shapes. And then every once in a while, I'll throw in a few extra leaves like this. I kind of make it feel like, oh, there's some leaves there. And also, what you can do is, let's see this here. I'm going to shadow that leaf. And that way, this looks like it's coming forward. So you can do little shadow leaves like this. And it makes it feel like the leaves have depth to them. So I'll shadow all of this. And as long as you kind of do this thing where you have light, dark, light, you're able to have them be
Penelope
shadowed.
Bauer said, even the leaves are doing social distancing.
Even the leaves are doing social distancing? I don't understand that.
I don't get that either.
Maybe she's saying something.
Penelope's got to go.
They're all going in different angles. Oh no, see you later, Penelope. Have fun.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to reply bye to her.
Well, you just say bye. You don't need to write it, I don't think. She's not going to be able to read it because she's leaving. So we'll throw some more darks between these branches down here. And we'll throw some more dark branches back there. And then his back arm will be here. And we'll have this continue. His back arm's back here. And for all the back arm that is on this side before the elbow, I'm literally just gonna cast it in shadow. Because what I'm thinking is that the whole body of the ant, the light's coming from here, so the whole body of the ant is blocking that arm from light. So we can then just kind of make it go into the background with some shadows. I'll throw some extra little branches out here just to make it feel branchy and right. And then I'll throw some angles at his elbow just to make it feel like this one over here. And then we'll bring it in like this. And as the arm comes toward us, we can draw a curved shadow, draw a cylinder shadow like this around the arm. And then we can bring this hand forward. And so now that forward hand we can go like this. We can draw kind of a triangle with a cylindrical base, or not spherical. Oh, I can't remember any of my words. What's that word called? What is that word? I don't remember that word. I keep forgetting that word. No, it's ellipse. An ellipse. So we'll go back to, remember the ellipse there, and then we'll bring this back, create a cone with an ellipse bottom, like that. And then we can, from here, right down this line, just keep that line going, and draw a triangle off of there. And then we'll put a ball and another triangle on the end there. And that way you end up with a thumb and it's coming toward us. And then here, we have to imagine the knuckles are all going to be here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this knuckle here comes to this one here, comes to this one here. And then we'll put a point triangle there. So what we're going to end up with is, if you connect the dots, we'll go from that knuckle in to the outside of that knuckle. And then like that. And we'll do the same around here. Like that. So those are our first finger and our thumb. We'll get rid of that. And then under here, to show these fingers, we're just going to go down and into a point, down and in, and down and in. And then we can draw a half circle on these and shade them down from there. Because we don't need to see the whole finger. We can just let it go into silhouette. And we'll do the same with that finger. But for the knuckles up here, what we want to do is draw up and over the knuckle, up, over the knuckle, up, over the knuckle, and then we'll put all spirals right there. And we can draw ropey cords going, or viney ropey cords going back from there. Maybe some extra bark sticking out, and then we'll draw some more bark coming back like this. Now, under here, I'm going to let his body be blocked by the beard. So the light's coming from here, and the beard is going to cast a shadow down onto him here. And we can just kind of let the body disappear into shadow, because I don't think we need a whole body. Can let all of this go into shadow like that. Just don't cover over your leaves, but you can let the dark shadows blend in with the darks in the leaves. Just let it all go to dark. And what's nice is when you do this, just end the shadow on his body right before you get to the hand, and then you're kind of done. So let's throw in some more bark lines here, and maybe a few more pieces of twig in here. And we can get rid of all my extra sketches off on the side out here. Yes, Lena?
I love you.
I love you too. It's so sweet.
I know I am.
Oh, I was talking about me.
Well, at least you're not sugar.
Meanest dad ever.
Well, at least I'm not.
There we go.
Well, at least you're not sugar.
At least I'm not sugar. What?
Well, no, sorry. Let me reword that.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
You're not sugar.
That's true. I said meanest dad ever, and then you said I'm not sugar?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to fill in these a little bit more cleanly now that I've got that done. And then out here I can throw another tree. And it just has to be a suggestion of a tree. We can just use jagged lines to do that. And you could even throw another one way back here. Do little tiny jagged lines. Like that. And there we go. So I think we're pretty good here. I would erase some more of that stuff in the background up here, like these branches. I'd get my good eraser out, erase that. Maybe get rid of some of these original lines, the sketch lines, out of there. And then maybe we could throw You know, one thing we could do here is we could draw. So we'll do this. Draw a straight line across. Kind of keep it soft, not exactly straight. And you can wiggle it, bring it out, come back, and then kind of put puffs on top. And then bring this out again and go behind his arm. And then you can put puffs coming out like that. And we'll do the same over here. We're going to go out like this. We're going to bring it in, come back, and then we'll make puffs. So you have a nice sense of the trees in the background, the trees back here, and the clouds in the background, and the sky. Maybe, you know what, if you want, you can do a little bitty
Nigel Porter said,
a shape of a V.
Porter said, very wonderful.
You can make a V like that. Oh, that's nice. Make a V, but you curve the ends
I
up.
don't know what he said, very wonderful.
And then you can do a little tip
Wonderful about.
like that. And that becomes a bird. And you can do another bird over here. So just like another V. But I would make it fat on the end. Fat on the end there. And you can draw like that. And then you just have a few birds. And sometimes you can just draw a curved V. And that works too. And some of the birds you might get a triangle shape or another triangle shape and another one down like this. And then you go flat out like that. And it's a bird flying toward us. And you just put those in there just for the heck of it. So another little V over here and another one over there. And they don't even have to be even. Just you put enough of them in. Just a few of them in. And they kind of give it a little atmosphere. And I think we're done, guys. I hope you had a nice time drawing with us. It was a lot of fun. I liked making the ant because the ant is they're kind of gentle and sweet, and I like having that kind of friendly character and atmosphere
Dad, I can draw
around.
Wings.
They're kind of beautiful and sad, and I think that's what's nice about the eyes, making them look really, really kind of dark and sad. Because there's a little sadness to them because they're watching their world kind of disappear around them. I can relate to the ants a little bit.
What?
So.
Oh, you mean the social world?
There you go. So.
Social world.
Anyway, there's the ant. We can throw some more branches back here, but I think we're pretty much done.
Okay, so social. You mean
What?
social? You see, social face-to-face world is going.
Yeah, a little.
Is destroying.
Well, he's just watching it kind of quietly waste away. The world around him. So there you go, guys. I hope you liked this one. This was a lot of fun for me because it was very contemplative to work on this guy. And I'm going to let you all go. I don't think I'm going to do an advanced one today because I have a lot of work to do. So I think what I'm going to do from now on for the Monster Art School Advanced is I'll do some more intense ones, but maybe only do like 1 or 2 drawings a week for that. So I think next week I was thinking about doing Sauron for Monster Art School Advanced. And that'll be a much more finished drawing, much more like less cartoony
Monster Art
than
School
this.
Advanced. Not
All right.
like...
So have a great day, guys. Thanks, Camille.